Tonight on the Road Hard Roadhouse, we're going over my 1970 Nova Super Sport. Let's get it started. Today on the Road Hard Roadhouse, we're going over my 1970 Nova Super Sport. Now, when you buy these cars, I found this one down in a junkyard. It was originally a Cortez silver car. If you're good with reading these, you can tell it is. It's also got the Cortez silver, and the A means it's a special trim. Means it had every available option as far as trim goes. There's a black vinyl top, Cortez silver car. Have no idea why they painted it this ugly yellow. Needs a roof. SS seats are still in it. When I got it, still had the carpet, and you could see where the gauges were as far as the clusters. They were on the tunnel there, on the transmission tunnel, and it's another sign that it was an SS car. I took out the gauge cluster, and one of these things, as you can tell, is when the gauge cluster doesn't have like a R, N, D, 1 or 2, that means that it's actually a 4-speed car cluster. So that's another way to tell if it has if it was possibly original SS car, or at least a 4-speed. Doors shut really nice. This is not the original subframe. In fact, I don't even have the subframe connected. I bought this from a friend, and it didn't have the subframe connected to it. In the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, people were racing cars all the time. They used the subframes from these things. Were hot as heck as far as finding them. So they plus it had, having a 396, it was probably a pretty hot commodity. It is a 70 dated subframe, but it's not from an SS. Probably put, if I do keep this car, it will have disc brakes up front. Another thing you want to tell is the big block heater box. If you don't, when you're looking for an SS, look for the heater box, because this is, of course they did have SSs that weren't the big block, but this is the big block heater box. Now, for me, finding a aluminum headed 396, I'm not counting my lucky stars or anything, but it did have that at that time. More Cortez silver. Now, it needs rear quarters, needs a roof. Trunk is, the trunk pan is really nice. It just has a few pinholes in it. This has been jacked up. See where the SS, see those holes right there, there. That's where the SS emblem or plaque went on. As I said, it needs quarters. Doors open really smooth. Passenger side floorboard is shot. There's the 4-speed hump. SS seats. I took the back seats out to try to get rid of all the carpet, so it'd save what was left of it. Needs a roof. Black vinyl top. You can see what's left of it here. Not very good for roofs at all. I'm telling you, it's vinyl tops are terrible. If you do want this car, the whiskey does not come with it. Some more of the Cortez silver. somebody took out the rear 12 bolt, and it's got a newer 80s style 8.5 inch in it. It's got ladder bars on it. It's also got these shackles, lifted shackles. As I said, it needs a new roof. Passenger door opens, shuts just like a new one. Of course, it needs weather stripping, I'm sure. Then the SS seats. Front shot. Dash needs removed or needs replaced. It's cracked. Thinking, I mean, there's so much that needs done to this car. Thinking of bringing it back, making it a Scca type car, running cones. I'd probably be a cone killer of some sort, but plan is, since this is an original subframe, I would disc brake it front and rear. Looking for a 12 bolt for the rear if I was to do that, just because if I keep the car, I'm going to probably try to restore it. It'll be a Cortez Silver again, new roof, new floor pan in the passenger side. Try to go 8 bolt, or sorry, 12 bolt in the back. Let's see what else. Now, if I kept it, I'd probably put a LS motor in it with a 4-speed Muncie behind it, just because I'd like to do those SCAA events, or SCCA events. It's got all good glass. Chrome probably needs to be shined up a bit. It's got a bunch of extra chrome in the trunk and parts in the trunk. The SS horn emblem is in the trunk. Did not come with the steering column. 4-speed Muncie was gone. Of course, the 396 was gone. Subframe, of course, was gone. But it does have a lot of those telltale signs. Big block heater box, 4-speed hump. Carpet told me that the gauges, the console gauges were in the car. So it was an AC car as well. So, or at least it had air on the, let me go to this right here. At least it had air. Now, I could be wrong. It may not be a... I don't see any gauges or any heat or AC vents. So, you know, I'm guessing maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was AC and didn't have an AC in it, and I don't know. I'd like to find out more about these type of cars. I'm not a huge Nova guy, but if you know anything, let me know on the bottom. I'd like to restore the car as much as I can. I might put an LS in it just to be able to do these vents nice and neat. Took out the back seat, put it in storage. Spots on the roof, here and here, here. Don't trust any of this. Look at this. Vinyl tops are devil. I decided to power wash it, and as you can see here, just from the get-go, how much grime and mold and all that type of stuff is taken right off of it. And I'm going to blast it. I was hoping I could knock off this ugly ass yellow paint, but to get more of the Cortez silver, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I'll show it to you when it's done. What I'm using here is a Ryobi 3100 PSI. What I'm using here is a Ryobi 3100 PSI blower or power sprayer here. And I'll show you. Now, I didn't do a great job on that, using it with one hand, but that was at 25%. Can't read that too well. But if I go to 0, get off board. But I don't have a good as coverage, so I use it at the 25%. There you go. Here it is after I finished power washing it. It's getting a little dark. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but this thing was full of crap. I was hoping I could blast off a lot of the yellow paint, but evidently they did it pretty well over the Cortez silver. Who knew that Cortez silver would be one of the most popular colors of SS's? But that's what it is. If I restore it, I'll try to restore it as close to the original. It will be the original color, vinyl top, trim, etc. The SS emblems and everything is on it. I do have the front fenders and everything that are in good shape. I do not have the grille, the big block radiator support. I do not have it. I do have the fenders. I do not have the hood. Let's see if I can get this other side here. Again, I used a GCV Ryobi 190 3100 psi, 2.5 gallons per minute. Wow, this thing did an amazing job on this car, which was so bad. I did it at 25%. 0% gave it a lot better. It dug completely down to the paint, but I wasn't able to get as good a coverage, so I went to 25%. Now I'll probably need to go over it again. Well, I won't have to go over it again before I go ahead and sand it down. But some of these panels will be removed. Doors, perfect shape. I'm sorry, doors work in perfect shape. There's a ding right there. Tell me what you think. Should I go ahead and use this thing as a track car, Scca type events? It might be fun. LS motor in it, disc brakes front and rear, 12-bolt rear. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, comment down below. If you think you need this Nova more than I do, let me know. We'll see what we can work out. If not, I'm going to make it a Scca event type car, and then I'm going to race it some in those events, not drag racing. I'm going to race in those Scca type events, and we'll see what happens. Appreciate it, and as always, if you ride her hard, don't put her away wet like this car was. This car was put away wet lots of times.